Hey everyone, happy Tuesday. So I'm going to be sharing a little bit from today's IP session, intuitive parenting session, and it sort of builds off of the feeding support session that I did yesterday. So if you've seen that, I had posted a little graph with showed sort of percentage of mothers and days that their milk would come in, and they're sort of showing a range that some will come in sort of day 2 after baby's born, upwards of even 5-6 days after the birth of your baby. And so we were talking just about that range and having that information and knowing sort of what the range of normal is and how that affects maybe early production and understanding lactation from that point of view, which can be a really valuable tool. So today, and that graphic was brought from the Crib Sheet book by Emily Oster. So if you have, I know there's a few of you that have read this book that are in the group, and it's a really cool resource. So she is an economist, and she, obviously her job is to sift through stats and data and sort of pull together. She verifies, what research is good and valuable, and where some maybe isn't as good. So she's written 2 books. Actually, her first one is called Expecting Better, and obviously it goes through pregnancy and all of these sort of things, these nuances that we either has some truth or some benefit, but maybe other things that are sort of magnified or exaggerated. So Crib Sheet is really a data-driven guide to better and more relaxed parenting from birth to preschool. And again, she goes through everything from like breastfeeding to bottle feeding, co-sleeping, early talking, walking, and everything in between. There's even a chapter on the evidence sort of on baby Einstein and TV habits and all that kind of stuff. So really an interesting look at sort of these really hot topics of parenting that we're all sort of sifting through information or advice given from family and friends and trying to make the best decision. But one of the biggest takeaways that I find from her information is really taking a look at these areas, not just as necessarily from the benefits for just the baby, but really making some decisions based on the benefit to the family as a whole. And I think that is absolutely one of the areas that we are really missing for a lot of us. So that pressure of trying to be the perfect parent and make the best decision. I mean, obviously parenting is super emotional because we absolutely want the best for our kids. And making those decisions based on what is best for the family dynamic and the family as a whole could actually be more beneficial to your baby. So she really goes through this book kind of with that perspective in mind, that what does the evidence say about the benefit of a decision for your baby, and how does that really play into the overall benefit for everyone. So from a parenting perspective, we often will be like, okay, this decision, brings a little bit of benefit to our baby, so that absolutely, it doesn't matter what the cost is to us, that is the right decision to make. And it may be, but when it's so costly to us that it may be costing us our mental health or creating more stress, then in the big picture, maybe that isn't as beneficial for our baby. So I really encourage, I'm going to link some different interviews and podcasts that she's done to the post so that you can have these linked to this video, because I think that it is a really interesting outlook. I know, just as we're processing the information on all these different milestones, and she's got even a great little chart of showing the range even on movement. So, walking, talking, sitting unassisted, standing, and sort of giving you really, like, we have our, we think, by 6 months they need to be doing, they need to be sitting up on their own or whatever. And she really gives us a range of what normal is. And so I think when we look at it, things like that from that perspective, it's a really refreshing look. So I'm going to be linking all the stuff below, but that is what we were talking about today. Crib sheet and just how to debunk some of these perfect parenting myths by taking a new perspective and looking at the benefit of family health and well-being instead of just individual health